Okay, so we're back with another deep dive.
Back again.
And today's topic is something that's been making some noise in the NBA world.
Yeah, some real noise.
And we actually have some source material from a sports news segment that really, I mean, the title kind of says it all.
Oh, yeah?
It's called Trade Giannis Now. Former NBA star drops nuclear take on Bucks future.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so for those of you listening who maybe aren't super plugged into NBA news right now, we're going to break it all down for you.
That's right.
So basically what we're going to be talking about today is this whole idea of whether or not the Milwaukee Bucks should consider trading Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Which is a wild concept to even think about.
I know it sounds crazy, right? I mean, we're talking to a guy who is like the face of the franchise.
A two-time MVP, finals MVP, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. So, like, why would they even think about trading him? But this news segment actually lays out a pretty compelling case, and it all starts with this former NBA All-Star Gilbert Arenas.
Right, Gilbert Arenas, who, well, I mean, he's known for a few things.
Yeah, he's a bit of a controversial figure.
The script actually mentions him as, like, the man who once brought GNS into an NBA locker room, so...
Yeah, not exactly known for always making the best decisions.
Right.
But anyway, Arenas was on a podcast recently, and he basically said that the Bucks should trade Giannis to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
The OKC Thunder.
Yeah, and his reasoning was that small market teams like Milwaukee have a really hard time holding on to superstars.
Which is true historically.
Yeah. I mean, look at what happened with Kevin Durant in OKC.
Right.
He left for Golden State.
A much bigger market.
Exactly. And so Arenas is basically saying that Giannis could end up doing the same thing eventually.
And that the Bucks might as well get something for him now while they still can.
Exactly.
And the Thunder just so happen to have a ton of valuable draft picks that they could offer in a trade.
Like a treasure trove of draft capital.
Exactly, which could really jumpstart a rebuild for the Bucks if they decide to go that route.
And, the reaction to Arenas' suggestion was, well, it's pretty mixed.
Oh, I bet.
The script actually includes some quotes from fans, and you can tell right away that people are divided on this issue.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, you've got people like FAN1 who's quoted as saying, trading Giannis would be pure insanity. He's the only reason Milwaukee matters.
Right, so you have the diehard fans who see this as like sacrilege.
Exactly. But then you have others like FN2 who's quoted as saying, the league is screwed. And they're obviously excited about the prospect of Giannis joining forces with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in OKC.
Yeah, it'd be pretty scary to see those two together.
I know, right? But let's get back to the arguments for trading Giannis.
Okay.
The script spends a good chunk of time laying those out. And one of the main points they make is that Giannis is in his prime right now.
She is.
And he's putting up monster numbers every night.
Averaging 30 points a game, easy.
Exactly. But the Bucks still aren't considered championship favorites.
All right, and they mention in the script that Dame's season over.
Yeah, Damian Lillard's season-ending injury.
Which definitely hurts the Bucks' chances.
So the argument is basically like, why waste Giannis's best years on a team that might not be able to win it all?
Especially when you could potentially get a huge haul of assets in return.
Yeah, they really highlight how OKC has the youngest, hungriest core in the league.
And that war chest of draft picks.
Where they keep mentioning that war chest.
Which is important.
Yeah.
Because it means they have the ammunition to make a serious offer for Giannis.
And the script even goes so far as to say, imagine Giannis with Chet Holmgren and Shai. Scary hours.
Oh man, I get chills just thinking about it.
Right. It would be insane.
Totally change the landscape of the league.
But of course, there's also the other side of the argument against trading Giannis.
Of course.
And the script does a good job of presenting that as well.
Which is important.
Yeah, it's important to be balanced.
Absolutely.
So basically, the main counter-argument is that you don't trade a top 3 player in the league unless he demands a trade.
Which Giannis hasn't.
Nope, not yet at least.
And they quote analysts too as saying, you don't trade a top E3 player unless HE demands it.
Right, and that makes sense.
It does.
I mean, Giannis is a franchise cornerstone. He's a fan favorite. He's everything to Milwaukee.
And trading him would be a huge gamble.
It would be.
Because you never know if you'll ever be able to find another player like him.
And the script also brings up the whole issue of small markets and their ability to keep superstars.
Right. It's a constant struggle.
It is.
Small market teams often have less resources, less revenue.
And it makes it hard to compete with the big boys, like the Lakers and the Knicks.
Exactly.
And the anchor even brings up this pretty intense quote that's attributed to Giannis.
Oh, yeah.
Where he supposedly said that winning an MVP is better than intimacy.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild quote.
It is.
And it kind of makes you wonder, what his priorities really are.
Is he truly happy in Milwaukee?
Or is he starting to get restless?
Does he want to win at all costs?
And is he willing to leave Milwaukee to do it?
These are all big questions.
They are.
And the script doesn't really provide any answers.
No, it just leaves us with more questions than answers.
Which is fine.
It is.
I mean, that's what makes this whole topic so interesting.
It does.
It's a complex issue with no easy solutions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to wrap things up, let's just recap the two main sides of the argument.
Okay.
On one hand, you have the argument for trading Giannis while his value is still high.
Get that war chest.
Right. Get all those draft picks and young players and rebuild the team for the future.
Makes sense.
And then on the other hand, you have the argument for keeping Giannis at all costs.
Because he's a generational talent.
Exactly. And because you might never be able to replace him.
It's a tough call.
It really is.
And ultimately, it's up to the Bucks to decide what's best for their franchise.
And for their fans.
Yeah, because the fans are a huge part of this equation, too.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure they'll have a lot to say about whatever decision the Bucks make.
I'm sure they will.
Social media will be buzz.
The differences.
So what do you think?
Well, I mean, it's a tough one.
It is.
But I think I'm leaning towards keeping Giannis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's just such a special player.
He is.
And I think the Bucks owe it to their fans to at least try to build a championship contender around him.
I can respect that.
But I can also see the other side of the argument.
Oh, for sure.
If the Bucks really believe that they can't win a championship with Giannis, then maybe it does make sense to trade him and start over.
Especially if they can get a king's ransom in return.
Exactly.
So it's really a matter of perspective.
It is.
And it's a decision that will have major implications for the Bucks for years to come.
No doubt about it.
So for all of you listening out there, what do you think?
Yeah. What factors do you think are most important when a small market team is faced with the possibility of trading a generational talent?
Let us know your thoughts.
We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks for listening.
And we'll be back next time with another deep dive.
See you then.